Hi! In this lesson, we will learn about object methods. Let's take a look at this car object again. We've said that the car's properties describe the state of the object, like the car is gray or the car is a Honda Fit. But this car can also drive, stop, and turn left and right. It can also go to the shop and get painted. All of these are actions that this car can perform. Just like we are able to define properties using the key-value pairs in an object, we're also able to define actions as well. These object actions are called methods. Introducing object methods. Object methods are the actions or functions that an object can perform. They describe the behavior of the object. You've already come across something very similar in your programming experience. Standalone functions. When you define a function, you are defining an action that will be executed when called. Methods are just the functions that are built into objects. When you call an object's method, something happens. Let's take a look at a new animal object to see how the implementation of methods works. Let's start by adding two properties, name and type. The first method or action we'll add is the speak method. Let's have the animal say hi to start. A method is just another key-value pair. So to start, we'll add speak as the key. Since a method is an action, we are going to have the value be a function that does something, like this. That way, whenever we call the method, it's as if we are really calling the function, just with dot notation. So in this case, to activate the method, we type animal.speak, open and close parentheses. Right now, this method isn't doing anything. Let's add the code required to get the animal to say hi. Now, when we call the speak method with animal.speak, parentheses, the message hi will print to the console. This is a good first go at the method, but it's not all that interesting. Instead, let's have this method print out hi, but then also include the animal's name and type. So we'll start with console.log, hi, my name is Carol, I am a dog. If we were to call the animal's method now, we'd get the appropriate message. But what if the object's name is not Carol, nor the type as dog? We want to make our methods to be able to reference whatever its name and type are. Let's take a look at the following program. Here we have a function, createAnimal, that when called, creates an animal object with name and type properties, which are set by the incoming parameters, and the speak method we created on the last slide. This object is then returned to be stored elsewhere. As written, this object setup works great if we create a Carol the dog object like this. Then when we call the speak method with the dog variable, we'll get the appropriate response. But what if, instead of creating a Carol the dog animal, we want to create a turtle object? The problem is, now if we call the speak method, we'll get a response that doesn't make sense. So the question is, how can we write our method so the name and type aren't hard-coded into the string being printed, and instead it will print whatever the name and type property values are? Introducing the this keyword. When used in an object, the this keyword is used to reference that object. This may not make sense at the moment, so let's take a look at a simple example. Here is a basic animal object. If we wanted to access the name property outside of the object, we'd write animal, the name of the object, .name, the name of the property. In contrast, if we want a method that will print my name is plus the value of the name property, we'd start with this. But since we are inside of the animal object, we can't use the variable name to reference the name property. Instead, we use the this keyword. In this case, this is referring to the object that it is in. So if we now call the method sayName, we get my name is Carol. Let's go back to our first program and incorporate the this keyword into the speak method. As a reminder, this program uses the createAnimal function to return an animal object with a name and type that is specified with the parameters. Instead of hard coding in Carol and dog, let's use the this keyword to reference the object's name and type properties, like this. Here the keywords successfully reference the object they are in, grabbing the values of the two relevant properties. Now if we run the program, we get a printed message that is consistent with the turtle animal that is created. Let's write one more method for our animal object that uses a parameter to change the name of the animal. Here is the new method called changeName that takes in a parameter, new name, and assigns it to the name property in the object using the this keyword to reference the object. In order to call the method, we need to send an argument with the value of the new name. This will successfully change the turtle's name from Tracy to Gina. So if we print the name property of turtle and run the program, we'd get Gina. As you are beginning to see, including properties and methods within the construction of objects creates some truly dynamic and customizable data structures. Every animal object created here stores its own name and type, and has the self-contained ability to change its own name. This allows us as programmers to reduce the number of standalone functions and include the necessary methods right into the objects themselves. There is no exact science as to when you choose functions versus methods, but if you decide that an object is a helpful data structure to use in your program, building in methods that relate to it will most likely be a good way to go. Now it's your turn to try adding methods to your objects.